Welcome to Silverstone for rounds 13, 14 and 15 in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Reigning champion and championship leader Will Blackwell-Chambers starts second on the grid for this 1A race, but it's John Langridge who takes pole position.
It is indeed, Lloyd, but he's no stranger to the podium. I've seen him up there a couple of times, but can he take it from pole to flag? I don't know. We'll have to hand it over to Jake to run us through the grid.
Thank you, Lloyd and Lyndsay. Beautiful clear skies here at Silverstone National. It's been a changeable weekend thus far. John Langridge and Will Blackwell-Chambers on the front row of the grid from Oliver Allwood and Charlie Burge. Bessel and Comber from Sam Smith all the way down in 7th on the grid and Clive Poles. Jason Greatrex and Brian Trott rounding out the top 10 from Steve Foden and Martin Tolley. Teddy Clark and Paul Bateman, Simon Orange and Jack Brewer, Harry Dean and Sebastian Fisher, with Marcus Bailey and Oliver Robinson rounding out the top 20. Keep an eye on Robinson, he's lower than he should be. Cannon and Burge. Hurst, that is Hector Hurst, the ex-FIA Formula 2 driver alongside Adam Craig, with Will Hayden, Paul Tucker, Ivan Leary and Nick Ledoyen rounding out the grid. Should be a really interesting one. Mazda MX-5 Championship racing on the Silverstone National Circuit. When isn't it interesting? The 5-second board goes up with the green flag flown by the marshal at the back of the field. When the lights go out, we shall be racing at Silverstone once again. Let's race at Silverstone. Good start from the front of the field. No problems at all for our pole sitter. Should be a really exciting battle to the first corner as Blackwell-Chambers and John Langridge battle it out for the victory here at Silverstone. Down to Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. We're going to see a really interesting duel between these two, I'm sure. But John Langridge is in the lead. Blackwell-Chambers down to third position. A cracking start from Charlie Burge as they go through Beckett's for the first time. That is Oliver Allwood trying to hold off the attentions of Mike Comber and Sam Smith. We're on board with Langridge as we look back to the cars behind us through the grid. There's a lot of great battles already. Who's that waving? Is that Charlie Burge waving? What's he waving for as he goes down the straight? Could have sworn I saw him gesticulating. Seems like a reasonable first lap to me. Down into the braking zone for Brooklands for the first time. Sunshiny, bright spells, and an amazing start to the race. No problem at all, as everybody has knitted their way through. No problem at all. So the field just going through one by one. And as they tiptoe their way through Luffield at the end of the first lap, it is John Langridge who leads the way from Burge, Blackwell-Chambers. Then it is Comber in front of Smith, Allwood, Jason Greatrex, and the 83 in there is Brian Trott. So a great start to the race already as the drivers are battling away for positions. Down into the braking zone for Copse Corner. A few overtaking moves already being spied as the 77 Steve Foden was looking for a way to move up the order. Hadn't quite made the move stick on that occasion. Allwood, meanwhile, is lining up Mike Comber. That's Sam Smith in there behind Mike Comber at the moment. We're on board with Adrian Burge as he makes his move on the 29. Nice, easy overtaking move in the end as they get down to the braking zone. So I can sense that this is going to be a very long battle with Adam Craig as they battle away. Now somewhere in there is the former FIA Formula 2 racer Hector Hurst, who is taking part in Mazda MX-5 Championship racing for the very first time this weekend. And it's going to be a very interesting outlet compared to his regular racing in sports cars and single-seaters. Still squabbling with the likes of Sam Smith and John Langridge. Smith leading, Langridge second, then it's Comber, Trott, Blackwell-Chambers and Burge. And Trott's going to come right round the outside. You have an opportunity on Mike Comber there. Blackwell-Chambers down to 5th as a result of all of this jostling. Comber defends nicely, 3rd position. And Brian Trott through into 4th. Nicely done as they come off the turn. So it is Sam Smith leading, Langridge, Comber, Trott, Blackwell-Chambers, Burge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as they go through together. Absolutely terrific racing between these 6. Getting into the closing stages now. Last lap, anybody can win of these 6. And keep an eye on Allwood and Greatrex in the background. They could steal some massive points if they just keep themselves to themselves. But John Langridge wants to beat Sam Smith in a straight fight. And here at Silverstone, you've got plenty of space to do it. And he's been at the front all day long. Can Langridge continue his epic run from qualifying and get this victory done? It would be quite a story because he's been as far down as 6th position at one point in this race, I think. So Langridge to fight his way back. He's played the long game here, Langridge. Brian Trott through into 3rd place, so he will be very happy with another podium, but he could really do with a victory to boost that confidence even further. Langridge is swarming. He's obviously feeling like he's got a good chance on Sam Smith. Can he get through? He's up alongside. He's going to have to nip back in on the inside. So I think Smith might just be able to hang on to this one. Trott there in 3rd in front of Comber, Blackwell-Chambers and Burge. What a terrific battle as they lock up through Luffield. But it is going to be Sam Smith who hangs on for the win in front of John Langridge and Brian Trott. What a race it's been, and that's only race 1 of 3 this weekend in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Langridge will push to the line, but it's not enough. Sam Smith wins it from Langridge in second, Trott in third. Then it's Comber, Blackwell Chambers and Burge in front of Allwood and Greatrex. My goodness, the top 8 close in the first race of the weekend here at Silverstone. Behind them, it is Stephen Foden, who just manages to pit Martin Tolley. I almost called him Trolley there. Sorry, Martin. I was looking at Brian Trott, then fastest lap of the race. That's why. Fisher, Brewer, Bessel, Teddy Clark and Marcus Bailey come next. From Lucas Cannon, Clive Poles, Simon Orange, Will Hayden and Paul Bateman. A great battle through the field, with Oliver Robinson in front of Harry Dean and Ivan Leary. The 5 who are demoted to the B group are Tucker, Burge, Hurst, Ledoyen and Adam Craig.
Sam, huge congratulations for us on that. That was a well-deserved first place. How did you feel with John being here, there and everywhere?
I don't even remember the race, if I'm honest. I was just trying to be consistent, keep my tyres in and try and get away, but it's almost impossible. I thought I'd done it with Will and then he put a move on me, kind of backfired on both of us really, but yeah, it was hard work. I was looking in my rear view mirror, my right mirror, my left mirror on the last lap, everywhere but where I was going, but yeah, well happy to come away with that with a win. Good start to the weekend and hopefully build on that.
John, we always say that Mazda MX-5 racing is close, but less than half a second there over the line, and you almost had him.
Yeah, it's always good racing, especially at Silverstone, because you can tow really quickly. But you know, credit's got to go to my AB Motorsport boys, because they put the fresh cold card together really well. I'm super pleased to have got my first pole position today and to come away with a second place by not really much after having dropped down and then come back up in the race. I'm really pleased.
Brian, well done. Everybody's already talking that's got to be the race of the year. You started 10th, you came third, you've got to be pleased.
It was a manic race, to be honest, but great fun. It was just getting away with the lead pack. I had to make sure that they didn't get a gap early on, because with the tow round here, they'd have pulled away. So I got on the back of them and then sat there for half the race, just waiting and waiting. And then the car stayed brilliantly. AB Motorsport did a great job with the car and Team Trott. And I think I come away fastest lap as well, P3. I was in the battle and maybe just run out of laps there because the car was still good enough to win, I think.
You join us as the cars are getting ready to go out for race 2A in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Sam Smith on pole position. It is wet though, and we've got a chance to have a little chat with John Langridge. John, starting on second position, and it's a little bit damp out here this morning.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Horrible day at Silverstone, a bit different to yesterday. And the track looks like it's got a slightly drier line compared to some of the other areas where it's wetter offline, so it could be an interesting race.
I guess the worry is going to be anyone that goes offline and goes off the track where it's been so dry, the water's just sitting on top and it's just going to aquaplane off.
Yeah, it could do, especially with these tyres we have. We're all on road tyres anyway, but some are shaved and some are full, what we call a full wet. And yeah, if you're on a shaved set, surely you could be looking at an aquaplaning situation.
You're in a good position. You had a great race yesterday, a lot of strong battles, especially at one point coming back from about 5th or 6th. Can you take the lead into the first corner and win from there?
Yeah, why not? Let's have a go, eh?
We look forward to seeing that. John, thanks very much for your time. There we go. It's over to our race commentator, Jake Sanson.
Well, to paraphrase the comedian Bill Bailey, it's rain, 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 more rain, and yet more rain, although there may be some demons driven from a pig in toaster. Anyway, Sam Smith and John Langridge on the front row from Brian Trott and Mike Comber. Blackwell Chambers and Charlie Burge are next up. Then it is Oliver Allwood and Jason Greatrex in position. And then we'll have Steve Foden and Martin Tolley from Sebastian Fisher and Jack Brewer, Adam Bessel and Teddy Clark. Marcus Bailey and Lewis Cannon will be on the 8th row of the grid together. And then it will be Clive Poles and Simon Orange from Will Hayden and Paul Bateman, Oliver Robinson and Harry Dean from Ivan Leary, and the race 1 winner of the B group yesterday in the wet, John Pethick, so he'll have an advantage over these guys. Callum Greatrex, Jake Stiles, Bryn Griffiths and Jack Moody, the 4 men who finished behind him. Those 5 know what it's like racing in the wet conditions on this particular circuit since the resurfacing. The rest of the field are going into a little bit of unknown territory here, so things could get very interesting off the start. The 5-second board has gone up, the lights are going to go on, and we're going to go racing once again here at Silverstone on the national circuit. Slipping and sliding down to the first corner, things could get very interesting from here on out, and the drivers know just how tricky it could get. Sam Smith just a little way in front of Langridge as they go through the first corner, tiptoeing their way through. Masses of balls of spray coming off the cars as they tiptoe their way through Copse Corner down towards Maggots and Beckett's. How on earth can the drivers see where they're going in this spray? It's absolutely abysmal. But still, the drivers are very much of the attitude of, well, we're not Formula One, we're not going to start races behind safety cars, thank you. We're racers, we're going to go for it. So Smith and Langridge battling away as they make their way through. This is Steve Foden on board with it, and a very tricky start to the race for him as he desperately tries to look around and see what's going on. Just water just splashing into the windscreen. You can't see a thing. You can't even make out the brake lights of the car in front of you as you get down to Brooklands turn. Blackwell Chambers trying to get the car stopped as they go through, and somebody's gone right off. That's Sam Smith. Sam Smith has overshot into Brooklands turn. So Smith desperately dueling for position. He's gone down the order, down to about third, I think. So it should be John Langridge leading the way. It is from Trott. Smith has recovered in third in front of Blackwell Chambers and his teammate Mike Comber. Then it is Burge in front of. Now, who is that in seventh? I think that might even be. I'm trying to figure out who that is in the seventh position, but don't tell me that's Jake Stiles. I know he made up an awful lot of places in the previous race. It looked like a single digit, but I can't quite make it out from here. Jake Stiles is definitely one of those drivers who's going to charge his way forward. So they tiptoe their way through, back on the power yet again. And still, you can't make out anything in these conditions. Langridge is your leader, Trott in second, Smith in third. He's going to make a late bid for second place there into Beckett's. Side by side with Brian Trott. Not going to happen. Brian Trott using the outside line to good effect. We're on board with Martin Tolley as he now duels with Mike Comber. First and second look pretty much settled. Blackwell Chambers in front. Oh my goodness! That's Charlie Burge with his bumper. It's come off. Charlie Burge has got his bumper on the windscreen. Now, surely that is going to be game over for Burge. So the windscreen is now obscured by the bonnet, which has come up. So Charlie Burge's bonnet is now glued to the windscreen. He can't see a thing, surely, with the spray that we've got here. But he is motoring on. Now, surely he's going to have to come into the pits. He's still there in fourth position. He's not lost a massive amount of speed, but I can't see him going on here in fourth position. So that is him going to be surely game over. Will Blackwell Chambers leads the way as he comes through. So he's into the last lap as we expected. Blackwell Chambers is actually being caught a little bit here by Brian Trott. Look back and we should see in third place now John Langridge. Absolutely unchallenged from the man who should be he's not pitting. Charlie Burge is carrying on. I've just seen him go past the pits. Charlie Burge is going to finish with his bonnet strapped to his windscreen. I want to see if we can pick this up again, but number one, Will Blackwell Chambers is hanging on in front of Brian Trott. And somehow Charlie Burge is still going round with his windscreen obscured by his bonnet. That is absolutely unbelievable. Look, there goes John Langridge. Where is Charlie Burge? There he is! I don't believe it. Charlie Burge. I'm sorry for laughing, but Charlie Burge is carrying on. He thought, well, no, I'm in fourth place. They're not catching me. I've only got one more lap. I know my way around this circuit with my eyes closed, so I may as well. And Charlie Burge is going to bring the car home in fourth position. I can't believe it. That man deserves a medal on his own, but it's going to be victory for Will Blackwell Chambers, a big moment in his championship campaign. Brian Trott has caught him right up with one more lap. Trott might have beaten him to the finish. Brilliant from Blackwell Chambers. A sensational run for Brian Trott. That is as close to the victory as Trott has ever come. And he's so close to that win now, he could sense it. But in third place, John Langridge. Fourth, with no view at all, Charlie Burge in fourth. Adam Bessel from Oliver Allwood, Mike Comber and Sam Smith, Martin Tolley and Lewis Cannon. Fastest lap of the race, Brian Trott. Jack Brewer from Bateman, Poles, Clark and Greatrex, Stephen Foden from Harry Dean and Will Hayden, Callum Greatrex 19th in front of Marcus Bailey, and then the last few stragglers home, John Pethick from Sebastian Fisher, Simon Orange, and the last five home are Robinson, Moody, Stiles, Leary and Bryn Griffiths. What a race.
Will, congratulations, but that was an interesting move there into Beckett's.
Which lap? Early on? Yeah.
The one for the lead.
I don't really remember that one. There was quite a few interesting moves early on. No, it's quite slippy, and on the warm-up lap I was experimenting with lines, so I thought I had an idea where the grip was going to be, and I don't think a lot of people had spent maybe as much time finding grip. So no, the first couple of laps was really nice to be able to find it, get through, get into the lead and start pulling out a gap.
Brian, that was a testament drive to yourself there. You were right on the back of Will towards the end. Did you think you could have pipped him?
Definitely, in a word. No, it was a good fun race. I do enjoy these conditions. It's a big leveller, so you know, driver skill comes into it. And there was a few times I thought, oh, you know, I aquaplaning in quite a few places out there. I probably didn't have as much tread on my tyres as I should have had, but it was all I had, so that's what I used. And no, it was great fun.
John, well done on your third place. Great start, but it all seemed to go a little bit wrong mid-race.
Yeah, I think the rain started coming down a bit harder, and that made it a bit tricky for me. I think we've got a few changes to make if it's raining again later on, but I'm really happy to be up here again on the podium. We've got a lot of sponsors here today, Fresh Cold, Valet Pro, Cambridge FD, and the AB boys did really well with the car.
You join me in the holding area for the final race of today at the BRSCC MX-5 Championship. Charlie Burge starts in 4th place. Now don't forget, he had an issue with his bonnet in the previous race. That seems to be nicely secure. John Langridge, 3rd place. He's going to be looking to go forward. Brian Trott in 2nd. He's going to have a clear view in front of him as the cars go away, and he's got the inside line into the first corner. And championship leader and reigning champion Will Blackwell-Chambers on pole position. This is going to be an immense race. It's over to Jake Sanson to talk you through all of the action.
Brian Trott has never been better placed to take his first victory in the Mazda MX-5 Championship. Is this day going to come today? Will Blackwell-Chambers and Brian Trott on the front row of the grid from John Langridge and Charlie Burge. Adam Bessel and Oliver Allwood from Mike Comber and Sam Smith. The teammates on row 4. Martin Tolley and Lewis Cannon in the top 10 from Jack Brewer and Paul Bateman. Clive Poles and Teddy Clark on the 7th row from Jason Greatrex and Steve Foden. Harry Dean is alongside Will Hayden on the 9th row of the grid from Callum Greatrex and Marcus Bailey. Then it's John Pevig and Sebastian Fisher from Simon Orange and Paul Tucker, the winner of the B race in the 2nd of the races this weekend, from Adam Craig. Hector Hurst back in the A group, from Matt Pollard finally in the A group, and Charles Muggleston in there with him. Now this is going to be a tricky one. There's not as much standing water around the circuit, but it is still very slippery, very greasy, and there is threat of more rain during this 3rd and final encounter for the A group. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 5-second board goes up. When the lights extinguish, we'll be racing for the 3rd and final time in the A group of the Mazda MX-5 Championship at Silverstone. Let's make it happen! Cracking start from the front for Will Blackwell-Chambers. He's got a terrific getaway. Brian Trott is going to have to slot into 2nd place. John Langridge holding off Bessel well. Burge trying to get to the inside line and move into 4th place, as there's plenty of grip on that inside line actually. They're not too crazy and chaotic on the first lap at all. Comber and Smith being split by Martin Tolley there on the inside line as they run to Beckett's. Someone else in the mix there as well. I think that is Sebastian Fisher making a cracking good start, the 81. Sorry, no, that's 43, Lewis Cannon, the similar looking car, the black with the purple lines on it. Lewis Cannon making a good start in there along with, I think, Mike Comber. Whoops, off on the wet patch goes one of the grey Trexes. I'm guessing, looking through the grid, that is Jason, who was slightly in front of Callum on the grid. Down into the braking zone. Into Brooklands once again. 4 and 5, Bessel and Langridge continue to battle away for position as they continue to run through. This is going to be a really interesting tussle, and very nearly spun around there. That was the 96 of Charles Muggleston making some progress. He was very lucky not to get pitched into a spin there. Sam Smith up on the inside of Charlie Burge to try and move in behind Bessel, but Burge is carrying the speed round the outside of Woodcote. Sam Smith needing to make some progress. He doesn't want to lose as many points as he lost in the 2nd race to that man in the lead, Will Blackwell-Chambers, who's given himself a nice points advantage. Trott in 2nd, Langridge 3rd, Bessel, Smith and Burge. That's your top 6 at the moment. Langridge back on the tail of Brian Trott. Looks to the right-hand side. Wheel to wheel again with Brian Trott. Langridge has got good speed off Copse Corner. Through Maggots shouldn't be too much of a problem. There's not enough standing water to cause too much of a headache, and he's going to get through in a 2nd place here. Trott will try and carry a speed round the outside, but Bessel's going to have a move on the inside line himself. So Trott is going to drop potentially to 4th position. Bessel is a nose in front, but Trott's got the aerodynamic draft on the back of John Langridge. So Langridge through to 2nd behind Blackwell-Chambers, and Trott's through into 3rd. And look who's having a look as well. Sam Smith trying to move his way forward. Trott is going to be alongside Langridge. Trott back to the inside of John Langridge into second position. Smith is going to get a run on the inside of Bessel. Is there going to be enough room for the pair of them to run together? Only just, as Mike Coomber is struggling to get on the inside of Lewis Cannon and make his way back through onto the tail of Martin Tolley. Not the best of starts for him, but Will Blackwell-Chambers, look at this squabble. It means he has got a huge advantage as Sam Smith now dives up the inside of Bessel and gets into fourth position through Woodcote. Brian Trott still there in third position, but I think he has to accept that the victory will have to wait until Anglesey if he's going to get his first race win of the season. So Sam Smith in the back of Will Blackwell-Chambers as they battle their way through. Blackwell-Chambers is now trying to reel in Sam Smith once again. They're going to go side by side. Blackwell-Chambers is going to be squeezed here by Sam Smith to the outside line. Smith will hold him at bay. They're both going to drift slightly wide, but Smith is going to hold the inside line crucially, and I'm not sure that Blackwell-Chambers is going to get another chance. He's going to need a perfect slingshot out of left field. There's some absolutely amazing squabbles further back between Langridge, Charlie Burge and Mike Coomber to the line. That's going to be an interesting one for fourth place, but Sam Smith makes it 2 wins out of 3 this weekend. A brilliant victory for Sam Smith in front of Will Blackwell-Chambers, and that's what it means to Sam Smith. A jubilant race win from 8th place. He is absolutely ecstatic with that. Blackwell-Chambers in second, third is Trott, fourth. I couldn't tell if that was Langridge or Burge as they came across the line. Burge has got his fist in the air. Did he beat Langridge to the flag? We'll have to check the result. There's a top 3 as normal. Burge is there, only just in front of John Langridge. Then Coomber in 6th from Bessel. Tolley, Foden and Jason Greatrex. Race winner Sam Smith is the fastest lap of the race as well. Cannon is 11th from Brewer, Bateman, Fisher, Orange, Callum Greatrex, Dean, Poles, Pethick and Adam Craig in the top 20. And just out behind them is Will Hayden from Paul Tucker, Hector Hurst, Marcus Bailey, Matthew Pollard and Charles Moggleston, with only Teddy Clark and Oliver Allwood failing to make the flag. 24 points is the championship margin between Will Blackwell-Chambers and Sam Smith as we head to Anglesey. Brian Trott in third, ahead of Mike Coomber, Oliver Allwood and John Langridge.
Sam, congratulations on your win. Some very interesting moves out there, especially the one taking the lead from Will.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the most deserved win I've had this season, and the others have been well deserved. So, yeah, I had him in my sights. My radar was locked on. I was hunting him down. So I was really happy with how I drove then. Very good.
Looked like he...
Will, you were working for that second place out there. How was it knowing Sam was just a step ahead of you?
It's better when it's your teammate. It's nice that it's an MCR, all wins this weekend. But no, would have been nice to keep the lead. I think we had the pace, but Sam caught me up quite well. Once he got past, I was like, okay, I could have done that and that. But no, I'm really happy with second. It's a great points haul, so I think we've still extended the lead in the championship. So overall, great weekend.
Brian, a hard-fought third place for you, and really it was that opening lap that kind of let you down.
Yeah, but all through the race really. I mean, I didn't quite have what I needed at one corner, and that cost me. It was as much as I could do to hang on, and I hoped once I let Sam through that I could tow back up to the leading, like right to the lead with Will. But yeah, it was unfortunate, but on the positive side, 3 podiums this weekend, 2 fastest laps.
Well, that wraps up all of the action this weekend in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship from Silverstone.
Yeah, I hope you come back and join us for more jam-packed action over at Anglesey.